right, all right. Good morning,
Hello.
everybody, and happy Friday. I hope everybody
Yeah,
is doing
but this is
having a
you know
great
what?
day.
This is my son's birthday today.
Yes, it is also 16 years since our first workshop that we ever taught together.
Really? That's right, because
Yeah,
we did it on Brian's birthday. I do all
yeah,
those things on my son's birthdays. Yes.
and that is a
16 years,
seven.
really.
That is a seven in numerology.
Yes, it is a seven, and that's a good number.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on today. I'm actually well, I got work today, but then I've got to go to I'm going to see Raymond Moody do this new course that he's teaching tomorrow. That should be fun.
And I'll be
And
going into Indianapolis for 3 days and talking on a live radio show
yeah,
about what we do and how we do it and what we're really I mean there's a lot of stuff getting going on because on Sunday then we're meeting with a girl in New York because we are going to create another program, and I feel what we're doing is probably the most strongest thing we've ever done is bringing people in to teach them how to really be awakened by the
yeah,
truth. And
yeah.
then I've been busy all week, you've been busy all week. I mean, and then we saw that. That's why I called you. I said, God, I couldn't believe it was 102,000 people have done Jeff Mars. The other ones, but that one has really that's really brought us through a different state of mind altogether. So it's
Well,
very interesting to watch.
it's always perfect. I mean, it's just interesting because I kind of felt like even though things were slow, I was like something's gonna click. Remember, I kept on saying that the universe is gonna hit like a million,
Yeah,
and
you did.
something's just gonna click, and it's just the energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to ride the waves, so to speak, and um,
But
and sometimes
we've been really straight in our workshops that we've been doing in our in our membership because it's getting more powerful, and you know that. I mean, the people are starting to get very clear on who they are. We're watching people really transform right in front of us,
mhm,
and that's what I want people to see is that they get an opportunity. I mean, they've got every month there's going to be 10 to 15 hours of us and the groups and everything. And there it is. I mean, that's a deal in itself right there, $111. And you're going to be talking to us. You can be with us. Um,
yeah, it cracks me up because they'll book a session with us and they'll pay $200, and they just insistent that they have to have that private session.
yeah,
And we're like, why don't you just do the membership?
yeah.
It's you're saving.
Yeah, I've said that to a lot of them. I said you could get 10 hours of this for $111, but you'd rather have 1 hour with one of us. And I said, okay, whatever. They have to do it. Doesn't make good sense to me. I think that's a bargain if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where you just kind of don't argue with people anymore.
No, you don't. You don't. Because
Because I
they
tell people,
huh?
I just look at people and I try to tell them things that will, well, it's all this. Like one of the things we all do this. We give each other advice, but when we're looking at our own stuff sometimes, like look because
You're coming
people
in and out.
say,
I can hardly hear you.
"What's that?"
Me, is that me or you? Because you're going missing every word.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm
go
not
on.
sure. I was just saying that it's easier to give people advice sometimes than it is to hear things about your own life.
Mm.
And like I'll tell people things, and I'll say, mm, you can see clear as day what they can do to kind of change their life, and they'll get frustrated when you tell them. But of course, we do the same thing. We'll look within ourselves and be like, you get a little frustrated with yourself. So
Hmm.
it's just
And
an
you can
interesting
get
journey.
disappointed in your own self, but you don't
Yeah,
even realize you've gotten disappointed or that you've lowered your consciousness down into a lower consciousness. Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting ride this week. It's been different, and a lot
hmm,
of people trying to get in, and I think that's great. But us working with, going into New York, I think that would be one of the most important things we could do, helping people
yeah,
do that, and we are going to create it, and everybody will
yeah.
know about it.
So you never know, everybody. You may be in New York with us.
Yeah, And then we might, and I feel that we're going to be going some other places. I mean, I feel it. So, and then you can do, we're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to be doing.
As long as Jennifer's driving and I can sit in the back seat. Remember we
Well, Mary Pat will be driving today probably, and I'll be up front, and Jennifer will be in the back. I've got snacks. I mean, I really enjoy going with the girls or you because we all have a good time. We laugh a lot when we go in there, and we make it fun. So, I'm glad they're going with me. I haven't been to Indianapolis, but on the outskirts of it. So we're going to be in downtown. Um,
Oh yeah, I've been to Indianapolis. Well, I used to live there.
yeah.
So
Well, I think it's on the outskirts of downtown, but it's the Sheridan. And if he's got a Facebook, and it's Andre whatever, but we can put it on there if they would be interested in listening to the radio show. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't, but it's been going on for a while, so we might as well just go on and start screaming it out to the audiences. Good morning. Who is that one? Good morning.
Michelle. Michelle.
Michelle. Okay. So
Hi Michelle. How are you?
is this Michelle in Arizona?
Michelle Moore. Michelle Moore.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be taking your niece with me, Michelle, to Indianapolis. Jennifer goes with me pretty much every time, and Mary Pat. So, and then you go with me when I do other things too, and you're doing it with me. Yeah.
You're breaking up.
Yeah. See, is it me or you?
I don't know. My skin looks pretty good. Like just with it. So
You're doing it too. So
just ground the energy, I guess.
my email went down yesterday in the entire town. It went down for Spectrum. And it was kind of interesting because nobody could really understand why it went down. But you
Hmm.
could feel the frequency. I mean, there's a lot of frequency. So we got to be, I mean, it affects me now. I'm more sensitive than I've ever been. Uh, just being in with something, if I'm working with something in my hands, I can feel it coming up into my hands now. I mean, I've got to be careful. I'm thinking about maybe I'm going to have to start wearing gloves because I can really feel the everything. I can feel what is going on. So, I mean, with it through my body.
So you're feeling now the static now. You have to wear. What about some cotton gloves? Like cotton.
Well, I'm going to have to do something because I can absorb it. I mean, I'm picking up my mouse, and I did that many years ago. I can pick my mouse on, and the electricity goes all the way up through the back of my neck. It comes down, and I've learned how to, ground it. But I'm sensitive to all of that. And then I've got this light that I do for sun. I can feel it being absorbed in my body. So there's a lot of sensitives out there, electrical sensitives. I mean, I could used to pull the electricity out of the outlets, and I would take batteries out of the remotes. I mean, I had to learn how to utilize it and not affect me. And it does, it hurts. And now it does hurt because I can feel it. I mean, I was hit the other day in my car, and I have electrical tape all over my steering wheel because it affects me. And
Yeah.
they really
And
did.
everybody, just so you understand that that's because when you get very, very sensitive to energy, the deeper she gets in, the more sensitive she gets to energy, and that's why the car, because it has electricity that runs through it, she'll
Mhm,
touch the steering wheel, and it'll shock her.
mhm.
And so,
And if
just kind of
I
give an
didn't know
idea.
that, think how many garages I went in and mechanics, and they would look at me and rose their eye, thinking, this a little old lady that's got gray hairs that she's really imagining it. No, I was getting shot pretty bad, and I had to wait. And this was so beautiful. I kept getting really frustrated about it because it was hurting, And then my grandson could feel it. I think you felt it a couple of times. Jennifer had. But I kept thinking because there was so much electricity in that steering wheel. And so I remember I was in the couch, literally, this happens. And all of a sudden I wasn't thinking about the steering wheel, the car, nothing. And all of a sudden it just started telling me, you need to go get the electric tape. electrical tape. Then it told me where the electrical tape was, where the scissors were, how to wrap the steering wheel. And I did exactly what I was told on my higher self. And I've never had a problem until just recently, because the more sensitive, and also I taste a lot of metal. I mean, in my tongue. I mean, if there's something that's got metal in it, I can taste it. If I have a lotion, I can taste it. That's why I stopped doing sun blocks, because I could taste the chemicals in the sunblock.
Yeah, that's like that if you take, because I take that magnesium shot,
Yeah,
and you can taste that deep magnesium. And
yeah.
Jennifer would do the IVs. You could taste all that
You can.
when they're.
Well, that's what I said. I do a lot of thieves. I love thieves because it is from the Middle Ages, and I just it really clears my system. And all I do is put it on there, and I go like that, and I go, and it goes right
Yeah,
in.
Tina gave me a bunch of that. She also gave me hand soap that had the thieves in it.
Yes, I
So
love thieves.
yeah,
Thieves is what kept me from having any kind of really major, because they were set there for that, the bubonic plague. That's why that was built like that. So yeah, we have had an opportunity to, and I mean, it is the truth. And that's when I started telling people, I said, you could take your pills, put them in your hand, and you absorb them. Because I really do believe we can do all of that. And I mean, I'm doing it, but I've got to be very careful with it. So yeah.
by the way, good morning, Melissa. Hope you're doing well. I hope Minnesota is you're staying warm up in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, it's
So,
supposed to get a real, and it was almost 80 yesterday. It's going to drop down to the 60s. Then by the Sunday, it'll be to the 50s. And people are
well,
preparing in Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby.
this is a hold on. Ricky's got a good comment here. I want to pull it up. I always wonder what was the taste of metal or silverware. It's from touching other silverware. I've tasted metal and silverware so many times.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ricky's always been very sensitive to energy too. So
and when you are sensitive to that, you've got to start becoming very conscious about it, because my tongue will tap in. I mean, I can feel, and I didn't know it for a long, long time, because I just thought it was something that I'd eaten. But when you really get really focused, it's amazing what your body will absorb and how it'll release. But it was a lot of work I had to do to get it out, to especially electrical currents. I mean, I couldn't even be around electricity for quite a while. I even heard when I first woke up from, my near death, I could feel all the electricity around my farm, and it would crack off. I called my electric company and I said, there's something wrong with the electricity. I said, it's, something's wrong. And the man looked at me and said, well, what do you think? I said, well, it's something's coming out of the wires. He said, we call that electricity. And I looked at him, I said, funny, funny you. I said, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I think there's a free radical of electricity. It's free floating out there. And I said, it's shocking me. And he went, okay. You could just see it in his face. Like, okay, we got a little batty woman out here. Oh, I could hear our next door neighbor had a set of trees that were and they hummed. And that comes from what was that book we did? Prophecy. No, what is it? The one with Redfield. Prophecy.
oh, Celestine prophecy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when it started coming in. When I touched that book, it was like it lit me up. I mean, that book fell into my front of my face 3 or 4 times before I bought it.
That happened to me with uh, Bringers of the Dawn. Feel it,
Yes,
reading it.
that was an excellent, but I met her. She wasn't very nice.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
Oh, she and I, but there was something because I respected her. And I did that in Nashville, North Carolina. But I'm going to tell you, there was a dark, she did not like me because I was very powerful in that. Because I remember she was standing up and she said, nobody can heal like that. And she said, I don't know anybody that could ever heal that. And I raised my hand. I said, I can. And I remember it upset the whole room. And I had 3 or 4 people of my clients in there with me, and they said she can, and she didn't want anything to do with me.
Mm.
I thought she was going to be my teacher, but I don't have
Well,
a teacher.
that's I told you she wasn't going to be. Well, maybe she was to the set for a second,
Yeah, well,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, to
but
make me stand in my truth, yeah, because when she was talking, she said, I have never met anybody. And I thought, I have done it. It kind of shocked her, I think, that I was. But we've been around some really very deep people, and their egos get a little bit. Is that noise?
I don't know. But we're having a lot of sound issues today.
Yeah. What is the world? Listen to that.
Yeah, it's I'm just gonna
Well, it's
ground
like
the energy.
tambourines.
I'm gonna just ground the energy. So it's when you're talking though.
I know. That's weird.
Well, it's frequency, right?
Hmm.
So, well, when you think about it, we're working on cellular towers, which is frequency. We're raising our frequency. The people that are watching are raising their frequency, and we're bringing that all together. And then that starts, you know, bringing in other energies that we're not even aware of.
Sometimes when we do get, I mean, I've been on several of working with people personally, and that we have gotten so high in the frequency, we break the phone. I mean, or the computer, the link. That sounds.
It's really bad.
That is.
Can you jump out and come back in, see what if it
Sure,
changes
I
that?
can. I do.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens when she comes back in, guys. I don't know. That was a really. It could also be. I also think that she's having a connection issue with her webcam. We've been having problems with that over the past couple weeks. So, or which she is. Hi, it's still there. Maybe unplug your webcam and plug it back in. I don't know if the connection is a connection
Let me
issue.
do it again then.
Yeah. Who that moved you to? Oh, it froze her. So I'm gonna put her out on. Yeah, when she comes back in, we'll put her on. Yeah, there's always a little bit of challenges here. I do shows all the time, and there's something between the energy between the two of us that when we get on, I start having connection issues. I've actually been working off my phone. I'm on my phone right now because for some reason when we jump on StreamYard, it takes up bandwidth on the computer. So, anyways, lots of things happening. We've been talking about New York. Hopefully, we'll be able to work that out. Michelle, if you're still watching, that's with Courtney that was with us in the reservation back in 2012. So that should be a lot of fun. Let me see if we can bring her back in here. How you doing?
I'm fine.
It's
It's still there.
not too bad. It's there, but not as
Comes
bad.
into my ear. There's something. It's a frequency in here because it just went through my head, literally.
Yeah, I kept on feeling that.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I was just telling him a little bit about New York, and we haven't, finalized the details yet, but
that's
we
going to
will.
be a big deal. It will be a very big deal because a lot of people are seeking these kind of experiences. And if we bring in a team like us, that they will be safe. They'll know that they can handle anything because we'll be right there all the time and we can see things. A lot of times they don't even, God, I think it's your ear plug. Usually you use headphones.
Well, I don't know because when you went off, it stopped.
What, what is it?
So we're having a Sherlock Holmes investigation here.
Yeah, I've done everything. Listen to it's like
Yeah, the only other thing, I mean, I could switch to the. Let me
is
see
that on
if I
your
can do that.
phone or
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
and it I don't know. We always have problems with this.
All right. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is the phone. Try to talk.
No, I can do right now. Can you hear it? I
No.
don't hear that. That's what it was.
Huh.
It was my voice coming through your phone. But this is what I'm saying
But it
is,
was weird. Every time you'd get leave, it would stop. It would
uh,
stop. But maybe the people listening could hear it. I don't know.
I
Uh,
sorry, but I mean that I can't do anything about it, you know. But that's what I'm saying is I really see this is going to be much bigger than we even thought because I really feel like people are ready to wake up and really look at it. But I want them to feel safe because I've seen things that weren't safe because it happened to me in one of those ceremonies, and I was pissed. If you want to know the truth, you know how bad I was. I was mad, and I
I
went
remember.
after all of them for it.
I remember. I remember. That was what.
I mean, I wasn't going to stop on that one. I mean, I went after them all, the shaman, everything, because if you don't have somebody that really understands how this works, that's damaging.
Well, here's the thing. We got Michelle here on the line, and we got other people here. We got Melissa watching. Michelle is, if everybody wants to know that's listening, Michelle was the organizer of. I only went one time, but it was a beautiful event in the reservation in Arizona. And if we're going to really get people in there to raise frequency, let's start getting out there, and raise energy and stuff like that. So, and what that's all about is really just the more and more you let go of your doubt inside, as Virginia said, God is goodness over doubt,
Mhm.
then the lighter you get. And remember the exercise we did last week, the one with the bucket?
Uh-huh.
So everybody just put their hands out like this as fists. And what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, pretend that in your left hand you have a bucket. In that bucket, somebody is filling it with water. And so they keep on filling it with water, and your left hand gets heavier and heavier.
And it does. It
All
does.
right. So they keep on putting water in there, and your left hand gets heavier and heavier. And then on your right hand,
It goes
there's
up.
100 balloons.
Yeah, it does.
100 balloons. So it gets lighter and lighter and lighter.
Amazing.
So I don't know if everybody felt that, but most people do. They start feeling that the hand with the bucket gets heavier and heavier, and then the hand with the balloons gets lighter and lighter. Well, that's your thoughts.
And
That's
that's
your
the power
thoughts.
of the mind. That is the power of the mind right
That
there.
is the power of your mind, but that's your thoughts. So that your energy of depression, heaviness, sadness, happiness, all that. That's what's in your body. You're literally telling your body to feel heavy. Now it's not meant
No,
for you to.
but what is it? It's the hemisphere. You're telling one side to do this, and you're telling the other side to do, and you're moving it in. That is exactly the truth. Two hemispheres. You've got to come into the center to
Yeah.
pull that in together. See, that's what people don't understand how the process
Well,
works.
it's the darkness and the light. So when you bring them in balance and you're doing that narrow road dance, so to speak, then you know when to dip, and then you know when to let go, and
Right.
whatever you need to do in that moment. And so that just kind of gives you a visual and a feeling of what we do when we're not in balance.
That's it. And I mean, this is really just, it's the simplest that you can do is need to get out of your mind or you create a new part of your mind that it will work with you. It's a force. I think we have, well, I don't think, I know we have a force within us that we haven't even tapped in. That's your intelligence of healing. And it's there. Everybody has it. And I mean, that's why I do this book. I mean, this is the book that I told you I've had for almost 26 years, The Healing Intelligence. And that was written in 1965. I know it's right because you go listen. This book is old, but I remember the first time I got it, and then it just spoke to me right there. And it started, and I went and opened it up, and it was about skin issues. So, I mean, I knew what it was doing. That's your intelligence. That is a true intelligence, not educated. It's not educated. It is intuitively awareness of the universe, and it is. If we don't, we need to tap into that because everybody has it. And this is what we're trying to show people, getting out of their own, all their programs, because we've been so programmed to not see any of this. It's time to wake up, folks. It's time to really look at the truth. And then let's raise the frequency and change this through the creativeness of who we are, and to the higher consciousness of, God, Spirit, Holy Spirit. It doesn't matter what you call it, it's alive. And everybody has it. We just haven't been given that opportunity to really recognize it. And I think this is where we're coming to right now. And that's why we're doing all the speaking, and that's why we're doing everything that we did, and the universe is calling it in. So I think it's the best thing we could ever do for ourselves and everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we've now managed to get past the eclipse. Yeah, we managed to get past the all the other craziness. Every other month, it seems like we have a new thing for.
We do. We always, in our webinar, I can't wait to see what the webinar, the main webinar will be, because that's going to be a new experience. You can feel the new energy coming in, especially in my area, because everybody's going to get excited about May, because we have the Kentucky Derby, and everything happens in the Kentucky Derby. I don't, because I worked with horses, so I'm usually in the back. I used to be in the back of the races working with the horses and the owners, but no, it was, we have such an opportunity. I don't want to miss this. So, and the celebration is usually, I love to see it. I've been laughing a lot too, and belly laughing about some of the things that I've done, and enjoying my life. That's probably the most important thing we could do, is truly enjoy your life. Be happy to be appreciative of that you're here. And
with that is let go of energies that drag you down.
Yes.
And
people, their energies too.
Yeah. And letting go doesn't mean like you're opening up the door and kicking them out the door. You're just letting go of being around energies that drag you down. So people, if they're dragging you down, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah. And you're not being mean about it. You're just being honest with it. And you've got to be aware that, there's a lot of people who are lost in a lot of ways they feel. And I noticed that a lot, is there's a lot of depression and a lot of people disappointed. And you got to look at all of that, because they also bring all that frequency down to that level. So we just need to raise it up and bring the right and perfect people in. And I really believe we can do this. I think we could do it spiritually, energetically. I don't think we have to do anything too hard.
Well, good, because I knew you wouldn't do it if it was hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. If it ain't easy and it's not fun, I'm not doing it.
I could see that. You were like, I'm out. I'm like, what do you do? I'm going to sit on the corner of my couch.
Yeah. I used to laugh when we used to do radio, and you'd say, are you in your red robe? Remember, I used to have my red robe. All the radio shows, I'd be in my red robe.
That's how we got on video.
Yeah, we had to get on video, and then I had to stop getting that. Yeah, because I loved it. And you would ask me, you said, are you in your red robe? I said, yes, I am.
Well, I remember, because we switched from we were all, most podcasts, you were on Blog Talk Radio, and now you don't about that anymore.
We had there was some really powerful audios that came out of that, if you remember. I mean, really, remember that storm? Jennifer got in on it. And it was horrendous. Couldn't get electricity, but boy, that was a powerful radio show. It was.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're coming up to the end of the show, so thanks everybody. We'll be back here at 9:30 in the morning on Friday next week. And you can check out updates about us at mydivineinheritance.org. And everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and enjoy your weekend.
And appreciate it. Have a good one.